Hey guys, thank you for watching the Slat Rock channel, and today we present you with 16 wrestlers you probably didn't know competed in MMA. Starting off with Dave Batista, whose record was 1-0-0. Soon after quitting WWE in 2010, Dave Batista said that he left WWE because he did not like the direction the company was going in. He also announced to the world that he decided that the time was right to start his MMA career. He tried to join Strikeforce Los Angeles, although the deal eventually fell through when the company was bought out by another promotion. As he bided his time before his first fight, Batista snagged himself a purple belt in Jiu-Jitsu and continued to prepare himself to fight in the heavyweight division. He eventually got his wish, signing on to fight Rashid Evans in October 2012. Evans landed back in prison for a probation violation the night before the fight, however, and Batista instead fought replacement punching bag Vince Lucero. In what would be the only fight of his career, Batista pummeled Lucero and earned a TKO win in the first round. Next up, Bam Bam Bigelow, whose record was 0-1-0. Now we all know that Bam Bam Bigelow wrestled for every promotion in existence back in the day, but what we didn't know is, in 1996 while working for Paul Heyman's ECW, he took a one-fight detour to a U Japan MMA event. He fought against Kimo Leopoldo and got absolutely thrashed in the first round. Bigelow had nothing left in him and had to submit. He later claimed that the fight was fixed and that he was supposed to lose, but honestly that just sounds like revisionist history from a guy who got in way over his head. Up next is Nathan Jones, who also had a record of 0-1-0. In early 2003, Nathan Jones arrived in WWE with great hype. He debuted as The Undertaker's protege and fought alongside his mentor at WrestleMania 19. He had a perfect physique to become a millionaire in the world of professional wrestling, but what he lacked was, well, wrestling ability. The Colossus of Bago Road soon left WWE on December 6, 2003. His MMA career, too, was likewise pretty uneventful, as the former strongman fought just one time. It was at the first ever KRS Pride event, and Jones was forced to submit to former sumo wrestler Koji Kitao. Next up is Sean O'Haire with a record of 4-2-0. Sean O'Haire became part of the WCW invasion into WWE in 2001 and established himself as a regular part of the roster for the better part of the next 3 years. While his career in WWE was unremarkable, he did have a pretty funny gimmick in which he simply went around backstage trying to convince people to do crazy things, like Brian Kendrick streaked naked through the arena. After he left the company, he embarked on an MMA career whose most noteworthy moment was probably when O'Haire got beaten to hell by Butterbean. Next up, Alberto Del Rio with a record of 9-5-0. Well, he may be a well-known figure in WWE, but before he became a WWE champion, Alberto Del Rio earned a reputation in the MMA world as an accomplished submission specialist. After 14 professional fights, he called it quits in 2010 when he signed his contract with WWE. Up next, Mike Polchlopek with a record of 1-1-0. Now, I know you young WWE fans must be thinking, who in the hell is Mike Polchlopek? Well, he's better known by his ring name, Bart Gunn, who along with his, quote, brother, Billy, made up the highly successful Smoking Guns tag team in the 90s. The Guns held the WWE tag team titles on 3 separate occasions until breaking up in 1996. He's famously known for getting knocked out by Butterbean in a boxing match at WrestleMania 15 and was dropped from the company soon after. He began his MMA career in 2006 after wrestling in Japan for several years, fighting twice before deciding that working as an electrician was a more worthwhile gig that involved way less getting punched in the face. Up next, Rodney BEGNAUD. His record was 1-0-0, and you may know him as Rodney Mack, but Rodney BEGNAUD trained with his famous Uncle Junkyard Dog before signing with ECW in 2000 and then WWE in 2002. After a couple of 2-year stints with the company, he got into MMA in 2008 and fought just once. He at least won the fight, beating the hell out of some guy named Joe Namath and knocking him out in 21 seconds. Next is Steve Williams with a record of 0-1-0. Now this is another wrestler who may not be known by the younger fans, but he has one of the great nicknames in wrestling history. Dr. Death Steve Williams is best known for his exploits in the wrestling ring. Working largely in independent promotions, Williams was a 3-time World Heavyweight Champion and 8-time Tag Team Champion, who even had a very brief stint with WWE in 1999. Despite this success, however, his one MMA bout didn't go so well. Williams got TKO'd after just 22 seconds. Sadly, he died in late 2009 after multiple battles with throat cancer. Next up is Bobby Lashley, 15-2-0. Once a top prospect in WWE expected to do big things, Bobby Lashley was injured at a 2008 pay-per-view event, and after wrestling the following night, never again set foot in a WWE ring. After his release from WWE, Lashley dabbed in a mix of independent wrestling and MMA, fighting with numerous promotions and signing a deal with Bellator MMA. Up next is Daniel Puder with a record of 8-0-0. Daniel Puder made all news when he was announced as the winner in the $1 Million Tough Enough Challenge. While Puder did win the competition and competed on several pay-per-view events, he was cut from the company to save money in 2005 and wrestled on the independent circuit until 2011. After WWE, he continued a highly successful MMA career in which he went undefeated prior to his retirement in 2011. Next up, TAKA Michinoku, whose record was 0-1-0. A hugely accomplished wrestler in Japan, TAKA Michinoku also had a surprisingly long run in WWE in the late 1990s, early 2000s, before he returned to his native country. Prior to his big breakthrough in WWE, he fought one time in the Octagon. At an event in Tokyo, he submitted to Kichiro Yamamiya in the first round of what would prove to be the only MMA bout of Michinoku's career. Up next is Nick Mitchell with a record of 1-2-0. Remember the Spirit Squad? The bizarre male cheerleader group from the 2006 WWE roster? Nick Mitchell, or Mitch, was one such member, and after getting the feud with the likes of DX and Ric Flair, he was unceremoniously cut along with the rest of the squad in May 2007. Mitchell lost his love for wrestling and embarked on an MMA career. He lost his first fight against Derek Lewis and his second against Ivy Harrell, but finally won one against Austin Bates in February of 2012. Next up, Paulo Cesar Silva with a record of 2-6-0. Paulo Cesar da Silva, born July 21, 1963, is a former Brazilian national basketball player, a mixed martial artist, and a professional wrestler. He's better known by his ring name Giant Silva. A super heavyweight wrestler, he was both a face and a heel in several wrestling promotions. He has an imposing figure, standing at 7'2" and tipping the scales at 385 pounds. Silva enjoyed a brief run in WWE as one of the Oddities, a very odd collection of gimmicks during a time where basically any wrestler who wasn't Stone Cold Steve Austin had to be a part of some sort of posse. He also enjoyed a long career wrestling in Japan with several companies, and during that time he also tried his hand at MMA. It didn't go all that well, as his record shows. Up next is Kid Cash with a record of 0-1-0. He was a mainstay in ECW, and Kid Cash came to WWE in 2005, but never totally found his place. He held the Cruiserweight Championship for a month at the end of 2005 and beginning of 2006, but by September of 2006, he was released from the company. It was while working for independent promotions in 2008 that he stumbled into MMA and seemingly won his first fight by decision until he had 3 points deducted for various illegal moves he tried during the bout. That was apparently enough to swing the decision against him, and that was it for Kid Cash's MMA career. Dan Severn with a record of 101-19-7. Dan the Beast Severn is one of the most accomplished fighters in the history of MMA, a UFC Hall of Famer who owns the distinction of being the first fighter to ever be awarded a UFC title belt. He can trace his fighting roots back to college, where he was a highly successful freestyle wrestler who was named All-American at Arizona State and an alternate on the 1984 U.S. Olympic team. When not smacking fools around in real fighting, Severn also tried his hand at professional wrestling. He's the only person to hold belts at the same time in MMA and professional wrestling with the NWA, and briefly feuded with UFC rival Ken Shamrock in WWE. Shinsuke Nakamura with a record of 3-1-0. Nakamura began training Vale-Tudo, and on December 31, 2002, he made his mixed martial arts debut in a fight where he was defeated by Daniel Gracie via submission to an arm lock. Nakamura's second MMA fight took place on May 2, 2003, when he defeated Jan Nordy with a guillotine choke. He followed that up on September 13th with another submission victory over Shane Eitner in his third MMA fight. Nakamura competed in his last to-date MMA fight, defeating Alexei Ignashov with a forearm choke on May 22, 2004. These two fought earlier in late 2003, which ended as a no contest. While his MMA career only lasted about a year and a half, Nakamura found his way to some of the grandest stages of his era. It's easy to wonder how far he could have gone had he stuck with it. Well guys, that's our list. What did you think? Are there any wrestlers who have competed in MMA that we may have forgotten about? Please give us a reminder in the comments below. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button for more videos just like this one, don't forget to hit that little bell icon to get notifications every time we post a new video. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+, and as always, thanks for watching.